Hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode I'm actually going to be reviewing for you the newest movie featuring Ralph Fiennes called Conclave. And so before I give you my thoughts on this movie, what I would give it out of 10 and stuff like that, you know, all that kind of good stuff, the typical stuff that I do with the review show and stuff like that, I will give you a bit of context here into saying the fact that with this movie in particular, I actually only knew stuff from the trailers as to what the movie was actually about, but the trailers actually do not really spoil much about the film, and so there is that where it was like, okay, this movie did actually really surprise me, and I will kind of explain that, but obviously without giving too much spoilers. So there is that. Also the fact that you've got Ralph Fiennes in this movie, and he is, you know, known to be this guy who has kind of done a lot of big leading roles. Like, for example, you got the whole thing where he was playing Voldemort and Harry Potter and things of that nature, so there is that. And so just quickly as well, I'm going to mention this, that I'm not going to mention loads and loads and loads about the whole Roman Catholic Church thing, because, you know, this is that whole thing is just going to get chaotic in the comments and stuff like that, so we're not going to go too deeply into that, because I'm not a religious person. I'm just a guy who likes to review movies and give you my honest thoughts on movies and stuff like that, so I don't want to go veer into that chaos land and all that. So there is that. So what is this movie actually about? So without giving too much away, what this movie is actually all about is pretty much the unravelling story of how, you know, you get to figure out who is going to become Pope in this Roman Catholic Church, and then you get Ralph Fiennes' character and every person that's trying to outsmart each other, and how that's all going to play out, how all that's going to pay off, or how maybe in a certain way for some characters it doesn't pay off in the end for certain reasons alone, things like that. So that's probably the best way to describe it, because it is quite a movie where you have to actually watch it to understand what's going on, because there's so much with it, so much that comes with it, so you're like, okay, what's going to happen? So there is that. And so how did I actually feel about this movie? Well, I am actually going to be honest in saying that I actually think it's a really, really well acted movie, because these actors really found a way to be really, really interesting on screen with how, you know, they're really well acting. They're acting these roles out, and you can believe that the way that they're acting makes a lot of sense, and how it's, you know, a lot of it is grounded in reality. It's not over the top and comedic and silly, because this is a serious topic about religion, and, you know, the stakes are high and things like that. So you have these performances where you've got Ralph Fiennes absolutely giving it his all, to the point where he's shouting into the screen, and you're like, whoa, it's like vibrating. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm getting so immersed. And then it's kind of interesting, because you see all the actors talking very loud and shouting in these hallways, but then you hear these whispers of these characters, and it's like, it goes from very loud to like very quiet in the corner there. So the sound design is really interesting, and also this, you know, the story with how it unravels, because you think, Ralph Fiennes is going to get away with this thing, and then this thing happens and that thing happens, and it all twists and turns, and it's like a roller coaster ride where you're like, is it going to go that way, or is it going to go that way, or is it going to go straight down, is it going to go upside down? It's like, oh my goodness, where is this going? And then when it eventually gets to the point it's meant to stop and end, it's like, wow, this is really what's happening right now. So it was quite an interesting movie, well acted, good sound design and all that. And so I would absolutely give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. And I mean, I watched this movie a couple of nights back, and there were still things I'm reeling from it and kind of still processing, because of how interesting the movie is. And you can have a million discussions about the certain ways in which it was ending, and how it all pays off in the end, because of the way it, you know, it's meant to make you think, and it's a movie you would actually be sitting with your mind for probably like 5 or 6 days, because of how much goes on in it. And so definitely that. Hope you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for more like it. Bye.